How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to VTH Extra. Well, like most people, especially in America, just look at our bellies. I love me some fast food. But like most people, I have preferences when it comes to fast food. The stuff that I like, the stuff that I don't like. I'm a creature of habit, and so when I do go to places, I tend to get the same thing most times in most places, and those habits change over time. What I liked 10 years ago might not be what I like 10 years from now. And I've also noticed that when it comes to fast food, it doesn't taste the same in other parts of the world. Burger King in the UK is not Burger King in the US. KFC tastes completely different in France than it does in the United States. So I'm going to be ranking some of the most popular fast food restaurants here in the United States. Many of them also happen to have chains in other parts of the world, and that's okay. But I'm ranking them based on my experience here in the United States. Don't think it's fair to compare other places. I'm also going to be putting a few of them into the category of NA, not applicable. A few of these restaurants are more regional. They're not necessarily national chains, so they might be very popular where you live, but we don't have them, say, here in Northeast Ohio, and maybe I haven't had a lot of experience. Some of these we don't have here, but I've eaten them enough that I feel like I can fairly judge them. So I'm going to be putting these into a tier ranker, S, A, B, C, D, and F, and then NA. And we're just going to go through the ones that are available on the chart that was provided on tiermaker.com. I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know what I got right. Let me know what I got wrong in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and dive into this. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice are the ones that are available to us here. And like I said, a few of these, they're not necessarily national or international chains. So some of you might not be familiar with some of these. And I myself am not familiar with some of these. I'm just going to take them, though, in order as they're presented on here and just talk a little bit about what I like about them, what some of my favorite foods are at that particular fast food restaurant, and what I might not like. Arby's. All right, so Arby's is one of the ones I may be tempted to be the most biased about. I live right outside of Youngstown, Ohio. Arby's is from Youngstown, Ohio. It was invented here. In fact, the oldest Arby's in the world up until a couple years ago was right down the street from me in the town where I live. They've remodeled it since then. It used to look like the original, but they've remodeled it and made it look new. It's still the oldest Arby's that still exists, but it was founded in Boardman, which is kind of a suburb of Youngstown. So I'm a little biased toward Arby's, but I also think they have really good food. They're awfully expensive, though, and I don't want that to weigh too heavily into things. But sometimes, you know what, when you've got three kids and you're feeding five people at one time, Arby's run for lunch will run us like $60 for the five of us. That's crazy. So that hurts a little bit, I think, for Arby's. But the food's good. What do I like the most? I like their crinkle fries. I love the roast beef sandwiches. My son loves the sliders there and their mozzarella sticks. My kids love the curly fries. I'm not a huge curly fry guy. I love their apple turnovers as a dessert. I love that, at least until very recently, they were one of the few restaurants, fast food places, where you could still get Pepsi products, but at least our local Arby's have all switched to Coke in the last year or two, leaving very limited options as far as Pepsi products at a fast food place. So that hurts it a little bit too. So I'm going to throw Arby's into B. Pros, great roast beef sandwiches, good dessert options. Cons, the cost. I like that they have different stuff. Another pro would be they don't have the traditional fast food menu, burgers, fries, that kind of stuff. They have those things, but that's not what their focus is. So they're different in that way. So I like that there's something different than the traditional options. Burger King. Okay, so Burger King's burgers definitely better than, say, McDonald's burgers, but I would say they're not quite as good as Wendy's for me. Burger King has phenomenal milkshakes, though, and I know they're not good for me. I'm 46 years old and I shouldn't be drinking milkshakes anymore these days, but they're so good. They have great milkshakes. I love that most Burger Kings now have like a lot of restaurants, they have the kind of the freestyle Coke machine, so you can get like 100 different combinations. So like if I want to get a cherry Coke Zero, I can do that, or if I want to get a cherry Sprite Zero or a grape Fanta, I can do that, those kinds of things. So I like that. Their chicken fries are all right. They have good chicken sandwiches, but nothing on Burger King's menu to me other than their milkshakes screams like this is the best. Like everything Burger King has on its menu, I feel like I can get better somewhere else. Their fries are very, very good. But again, for me, there's nothing that I say I need to go to Burger King to get that other than their milkshakes. So, all right, Carl's Jr. is going to be one of those ones that's going to go in the NA category for me. There just really aren't any around where I live. I've had it once or twice here and there, but not enough to fairly judge. All right, I'm definitely biased on this one because these are the Lord's calories, baby. Chick-fil-A is probably my go-to fast food. If there's a Chick-fil-A and anything else available, I will go to the Chick-fil-A. The only downfall that Chick-fil-A has had is that it hasn't always been available everywhere, but it's starting to spread. We just got one in our town about 2 years ago. Used to be that I had to go about 25 minutes to a very, very, very busy location to get Chick-fil-A in this area. But so good. The nuggets are fantastic. The soup is really good. The waffle fries, the sweet tea, it's all, yes. Chick-fil-A is my favorite by far of any of the fast food restaurants. Chipotle is very good. Now, I'm not typically a big kind of Southwest Mexican, that kind of thing food, but as far as that goes, Chipotle is among the best. I really love Chipotle. I love getting some rice and just some of their really spicy beef, and I feel like it's a healthier option, but still really tasty food. I'm going to put Chipotle in an A, and my son wants to get a job at Chipotle here in town, so that'll probably be happening, and that'll bias me a little bit toward it as well. All right, DQ. So DQ, Dairy Queen, most people think of ice cream when it comes to them, but they do have food options, but they're really an ice cream place that also does food, and because of that, none of the food jumps out at me as being great. It's not bad, but it's not great. And I can't rank it as high as Burger King, so I'm going to have to give DQ a D for the purposes of this. All right, so we're into our first chain pizza place. Now, for me personally, where I live, Wedgwood Pizza is the best pizza, and I will get that over anything every single time, but that's a local place. There's only 3 of them. But and the founder still worked there into his 90s up until a few months ago when he passed away, and it was Fernando. But as far as the chain pizza places go, so we're talking like Domino's and Pizza Hut and Papa John's and Little Caesars. Those are kind of the big ones, right? Domino's is the best pizza. I think Domino's has the best pizza of all the chain places. I think their lava cakes are a heart attack waiting to happen, but they're fantastic, and I love them. And there are so many times when I'm traveling that I will just get a whole Domino's pizza and a couple of lava cakes for my dinner, and I'll sit there over the course of an hour or so and polish off an entire Domino's pizza. Definitely the best pizza of the chain places, and if I'm getting pizza somewhere in a community I'm not familiar with and I don't know the local places, Domino's is usually my go-to. So for me, Domino's is going to be an A. All right, let's move on to Five Guys. Five Guys is, to me, when I think of burger places, they're like kind of a step up from your typical fast food, right? So I don't kind of think of them in the same vein that I think of a Wendy's or a Burger King or a McDonald's. They're kind of a step up for me, so I kind of think of them a little bit differently that way. Actually, the last time I had Five Guys was in London in the UK, and it was actually really good. But I'm not comparing UK versions of places. I'm doing them in the United States. I think Five Guys has good burgers. They have good fries. And unlike some of the fast food places where you can kind of be hit or miss, where sometimes the food can be good and sometimes maybe it's not so good, my experience at Five Guys has usually been pretty standard and pretty solid. I'm going to give them a good solid B as far as fast food places go. Hardee's. So Hardee's is one. We don't have a lot of Hardee's in my area anymore, but we used to. And I've had enough experience at Hardee's that I feel like I can rank them. A lot of similarities to a lot of the other places on this list. And I think they compare pretty favorably to those other places. I would put them a step up from, say, a Burger King, but not quite as good as maybe a Five Guys. So for that, they're going to go at about a B to me. Again, burger is probably the thing that I like the most from them. I think Carl's Jr. might be related to them somehow, but I can't remember exactly what that is. All right. In-N-Out Burger. We don't have those in this part of the country. They're slowly spreading this direction, but this is mostly a Western thing, especially Southwest. When I was in Pomona, California for a week speaking in schools there, I ate at In-N-Out Burger pretty much every single meal, and I loved it every time. It's a simple menu. They don't have an extended menu. They do a few things, but they do them really well. I love In-N-Out Burger. It's one of my favorite fast food places, and maybe it's because of the novelty of it. Maybe if I had them here, I wouldn't rank them so high, but In-N-Out's going to be an A for me. Good stuff. Jack in the Box is another one I've had maybe once or twice in my life. Don't have them around here. I really don't feel comfortable ranking them. All right, Jimmy John's. So Jimmy John's, to me, there's Jimmy John's and Subway. They're kind of the same space, I guess you would say, as far as sandwiches go. Subway's much more popular as far as the number of restaurants that are around. Jimmy John's, again, to me, is a little more... It's more like the Five Guys version of the sandwich genre. I think Jimmy John's is probably going to be a little better than Subway. I'm just not a huge, like, that kind of sandwich eater. I'll get a meatball sub, things like that. But usually I'll get it from Sheetz, which, again, is kind of a local thing to this part of the country. But when I've had Jimmy John's, it's been very good. It's just not something I frequent, even though we have one. It's just not my style. So I'd probably rank it maybe higher if I ate it more often. But I would say for the space that they occupy as far as the type of food they offer, I would say it's a B. All right, KFC. So KFC's good. My kids love KFC. What do I love about KFC? Their mashed potatoes are really good, mashed potatoes and gravy. Their biscuits are always really, really good, and I love dipping it in the mashed potatoes and gravy. The chicken's good. Of course, I have an affinity for Kentucky. My family comes from there. It's not as good as Chick-fil-A to me, so it's a step below that, but it's still good. They've started offering French fries, which my son loves their French fries. I'm not a huge fan of their French fries. They have mac and cheese that's pretty decent. They've got a lot of different options as far as chicken goes. This is a tough one for me because I'd like to put KFC at A, but I think I'm going to put them at B. And I may go back once I'm done with all of these. I may go back and tweak this a little bit once I see, because I'm looking at some of these and I'm thinking, you know what? To me, KFC is better than some of these others in the B list. So maybe we'll throw an A- in there or just maybe kind of move some of these around a little bit. All right, McDonald's. McDonald's, of course, is the granddaddy of the fast food places. Probably got more chains, more places than any of the other ones. Many of them combined, I'm sure. McDonald's is a tough one for me because the quality is just not there. I eat it, and I eat it a lot. I've probably eaten it more than most of these other places just because they are everywhere. But the quality's often just not so good. It's low-quality food to me. Really, looking at this list, it might be the lowest as far as the quality goes. Just when McDonald's fries are good, when they're fresh, when they're hot, when they're the right crispiness, they're really good. But a lot of times they're not. The chicken nuggets are okay. Their chicken sandwiches are all right. The burgers are just, the quarter pounder's not bad. McDonald's a D for me. I haven't had any Fs yet. That might change. All right, Panda Express. So we're talking about Chinese, and this is going to be the only major Chinese chain that is on this list that we've been given, and I think it's good. And I think what we call Chinese in America, which is really not necessarily traditional Chinese food, it's really more American Chinese restaurants. I think they have good food. I think it's healthier than a lot of these other options, which is a good thing. And as far as chains go, there aren't a lot of chains as far as Chinese goes. There's Main Moon. We have a lot of those where I live. But as far as they go, Panda Express is pretty good. So I'm going to put Panda Express at B as well. Okay, Papa John's. Of the chain pizza places, probably going to be a solid second place for me. Papa John's, though, is just kind of, it's good. It's not great. I don't ever find myself thinking, man, I could really go for some Papa John's pizza right now. I do say that about Domino's. But Papa John's is good. It's definitely better than some of the other options that are out there. It's going to be a C for me. I think Papa John's going to go in at C. All right. Pizza Hut's a tough one, man. I do not like Pizza Hut's pizza. And that's what their name is Pizza Hut. But honestly, of the things on their menu, their pizza is my least favorite. Their boneless wings, I get the honey barbecue wings all the time, are so good. I love Pizza Hut's boneless honey barbecue wings. I love their breadsticks. Really good. They've got some good dessert pizzas. They've got cinnamon sticks that are pretty decent. But their pizza's just not good. The only thing keeping them from an F for me is their wings. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you know what? I feel like I got to put them higher than McDonald's. I'm going to put them at C just because the wings are good. The wings are better than anything McDonald's has to offer. So I'm going to give Pizza Hut a C for that reason. All right, Popeyes. We used to have a Popeyes pizza where I live, actually right down the street from where the Chick-fil-A is now. It didn't do well. It wasn't popular. And I realized that this may be a cultural thing, that in some cultures, in some parts of the country, Popeyes is very popular. It is not good to me. I didn't like it. I'm not a huge fan, and I love chicken. I mean, I love chicken. But Popeyes was just not great to me. And honestly, it's going to be my first F. Tell me why I'm wrong about that one. Tell me why I'm wrong. Maybe I just didn't have the right food. Maybe I didn't give it enough of a chance. Maybe our Popeyes was just bad. But my experience was not a good one. Sonic. All right, so Sonic. We don't have a lot of Sonic restaurants around where I live, but we have a few. I like the experience of going to Sonic. I like the options. I like kind of the feel of a Sonic. It's different. It's cool. I like it. So there's some good things going there. The food's decent. It's not fantastic. But I'm going to give it a good solid B, I think. All right, Subway. So we talked already about Jimmy John's. Subway, my kids are big fans of Subway. I love just getting a kind of a ham and lettuce with some Italian dressing on it. It's pretty good. I like their meatball subs. They're very good. I'll get a pizza sub sometimes there. They've got good fountain drinks. They've got some nice cookie options, things like that. But Subway's just very meh for me. Any of these other ones that are up ahead of it, I will choose those over Subway pretty much every time. So, all right, Taco Bell. Taco Bell is going to be probably one of the ones that I get the most grief from you guys about, because I know Taco Bell is really popular with a lot of people. And I used to love Taco Bell as much as a lot of other people did. I've kind of gotten away from that lately. Big bonus for Taco Bell, it is one of the only places you can still get Pepsi products, and they've got like some specialized Mountain Dew, like they're like they were originally the ones who had Baja Blast, which you can now get in stores. They have like Mountain Lightning now or something like that, and so I like those kinds of things. I think they might be owned by the same company that owns Pepsi, which is probably why. And we have one here in town that's actually a Taco Bell and Long John Silver's together. Sometimes you'll see like KFC and Taco Bell together, or Pizza Hut and Taco Bell and KFC. We had one we used to call Taco Hut because it was KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut mixed together. But you know, and my kids, again, they love Taco Bell. I typically will just get some crunchy tacos with meat and lettuce and some hot sauce, and it's good. I'm really upset they took away the caramel apple empanadas, because those were fantastic and I loved them. And it was like a hot apple pie, but really good. And they don't have them anymore, and I'm really sad about that. I hate to do this, Taco Bell, but you're a C for me. I'm sorry. You just are. Wendy's. All right, again, going to be showing a little bias here. Wendy's is an Ohio chain. Started, I think, in the Columbus area. Dave Thomas used to appear in all the commercials. To me, Wendy's, of the traditional fast food places, the Burger Kings, McDonald's, In-N-Out, stuff like that. Wendy's has the best burgers for me. They're really good. Their fries are also really good, and they're much more consistent as far as good fries. I like their fries. They've got really good chocolate cookies. They've got great drink options. I love me some Wendy's, and Wendy's is going to be my second S tier on this list. Love Wendy's. I'm definitely biased because it's from Ohio, but it's also really, really good food, and they've even got things like chili and baked potatoes. So they offer some non-traditional fast food options, which I really like as well. It's not just your typical stuff. There's some things that are for people who might not like a burger and fries and those sorts of things. So that's good. Whataburger is another one I've had maybe once or twice in my life, and so is White Castle. Those are just not places I've really had a chance to frequent. So I'm looking at this list, and I would say it's fairly balanced as far as the middle and down to the bottom. So I think I'll probably go ahead and leave things right where they are. If I'm ranking within the tiers, I would probably go Chick-fil-A first, then Wendy's. Second list, I'd probably go Chipotle, Domino's, In-N-Out, just as I have it. I think I'd probably go KFC, Arby's, Five Guys. Now, you know what? Five Guys, Arby's, Panda Express, Sonic, Jimmy John's, Hardee's. We'll go in that order. On this list here, I think we'll go Taco Bell, Burger King, Papa John's, Subway, Pizza Hut. We'll go DQ, McDonald's, and then Popeyes. So what did I get right? What did I get wrong? And what fast food place was not appearing on this list that should have been, that you think should be added? Let me know in the comment section below. If you have other types of tier rankings that don't fit with my history channel you'd like me to do, let me know that as well. I'm always looking for ideas for VTH Extra. So let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Check out some of my other videos. Check out the other channels if you would. Links are all down in the description of the video. We'll see you again soon.